Hey everybody, today we're looking at our next bell ringer and we're going to look at daily schedules. So go to your Excel and we are choosing a template. So when you open your Excel on the left, click on more templates and then you have several other pieces that you could use, and we've looked at the personal monthly budget. If you wanted more templates, this is going to link you to the templates.office.com. But what I wanted to try today is the daily schedule. And I have a copy here, and actually I have renamed mine personal schedule. And as we looked at earlier, this .xlsx is the extension, so we know it's an Excel. What I want you to do is I want you to play a little bit and add things. Now with a template, a lot of the heavy lifting is already done for us, meaning this is already set up beautifully. But if you want to modify it, like you click in the cell, and I added Holtger's schedule. So if I were handing this out to students or printing it out and putting it on my wall of my classroom, or if I wanted to send this out, I could do that. Maybe at work, you're doing some presentations or there's a seminar, you can change this out. Well, one of the things I wanted to show you is how to change the color. I'm going to highlight what I want to change. And then over here, this is the fill color. It looks like a paint can that's coming upside down. Click it, and then you can change whatever color that you want. I'm a blue jay, so I'm going to go blue. The other thing is if I want to change the color of the text, I'm going to highlight the same thing. Going to come over here. I'm going to grab, let me see, orange. Ooh, that doesn't look very good together. So maybe I'm not a blue jay today. There we go. So I've got blue and black. That's how you can change that. Same thing here. If I want to change the color, I'm going to come over, grab my paint can, the fill color, if you will, and change it. That might be a little obnoxious looking, but you see what I'm saying. So if I want to add something in the time frame, so I put here, and I know what cell it is. I'm in row 6 and I'm in C column. Okay, that's my cell address. So I put in here dog walk, and I am changing just, you can see this is the Monday and this is the time. So now I'm going to come down here and 10 o'clock, I'm going to put meeting with admin. Okay, and this wraps that text around nicely, which is right here. And what I mean by a wrap, meaning instead of this is not wrapped because we want it to go across the top, okay? Whereas the information down here is a wrap so that it stays within that cell until it's so big, then it's got to make it bigger. But that's the difference between just a general, if you will. And then if I click this little tab, and it's been done because it's a template, that's why this is done. And if I unclicked it, it would look like this, which is not okay. So I click this wrap, and that's what that looks like. All right, what I'm going to ask you to do is a couple of things. I'm going to ask you to start this schedule. I want you to rename it. You can name it personal schedule, my schedule, just rename it for me, please. I want you to modify the heading to reflect your schedule. I want you to modify the color, the font, change the time. I want you to add some pieces in here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this. If I look at the next sheet, I already added that one. So let me delete this one. Delete. All right, so I have this one. And if I want to add another sheet, I'm going to hit the plus. And this template does not extend to the next sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming back over here and I'm going to copy and paste this. So select what I want. Okay, and I'm going to do Control C. And you can see by this dotted line that's moving that this is in play. And then I'm going to click on sheet 1. I'm going to click Control V, and it's going to paste it for me. Now it already does not look quite like I want it. So you're going to, when you copy and paste it to the second sheet, you're going to come in and modify it back to something you want. So one of the ways to modify these rows is I'm going to select 4 all the way down to 430. Now without clicking again, so I have my area selected, I'm going to come back over here And you notice my cursor was a hand. Now it's going to move to the double line, double arrow. I'm going to move it down. And then I'm going to create that. That looks a little bit more like my other one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it does look a little bit more like that. Okay. So when you copy and paste this, I want you to come into this second one and I want you to modify that a little bit so that I know that you're not just copying and pasting, you also can copy, paste, and put new information. So over here, I'm going to put a, well, 5:30 a.m. is probably not going to be a dentist appointment. Like, go down. That would be the worst 5:30 appointment ever. So I've got dentist at 9:30 in the morning. And then maybe over here at 11 o'clock, maybe I'm going to put lunch, oops, lunch with mom. Okay. Now I'm going to add, and I'll have this laid out with the bell ringer, but this is how to copy and paste. And remember, if you want to rename, come over to this sheet and hit rename. And maybe you want to week 2. So if I like that for week 1, maybe I'm going to come over here, rename week 1. And the benefits of this schedule, some people really like a schedule to keep themselves on track. You can do it with your phone. You can do various different things. The nice part about doing it with Excel is this is a really nice thing that's done for it. This template's done for you. You modify it how you need it. I envision using it for work, to print it out, to share with others. It might be, you know, for me, if I wanted to, I could make this into a shareable document to where others can put their name in for a parent-teacher conference. Or I can send this to students and say, hey, I am available for the next 4 hours. Who wants to Zoom? And they could put their names in. So that's one of the ways I envision using this. So I've got week 2, I've got week 1. Remember, if you want to switch order of your worksheets, all you have to do is click and drag. Click and drag. Okay. All right, guys. The last thing I almost forgot. One of the things I want you to manipulate is your font. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to select everything here. And instead of Verdana, I'm going to go over here to Book Antique. Maybe that's not my best one. Let's do something fun. Nothing's jumping out at me for a schedule that's fun. Maybe let's do Comic Sans. Now, I caution when you're sharing this with someone, if you pick a font that's something you've had to download from other sources like DaFont or whatever, the problem is when you go to share this with others, if they don't have that font, it defaults back to something else and it can skew how it looks for people. So when you're sharing documents, pick very basic fonts that they are already going to have loaded, or understand this could look very differently for them. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great one.